War, chaos, secrets, and one machine that every German officer loved more than his own haircut. German Colonel. Gentlemen, behold, Enigma, the most uncrackable cipher in human history. German Soldier. Sir, it's glowing. German Colonel. Of course it's glowing. It's perfect. It wasn't perfect. In fact, the Allies cracked it so thoroughly, they turned this unbreakable machine into the world's most embarrassing open book. Germans never knew Allied codebreakers cracked Enigma. Today, we're diving into one of the funniest, wildest, most unbelievable stories of World War II. A story filled with genius mathematicians, overconfident generals, code-breaking wizards, secret machines, endless cups of tea, and one really annoyed typewriter, all working together to turn Hitler's secret communications into a daily newspaper for the Allies. But first, what even is the Enigma machine? The Enigma machine looked like a typewriter that got promoted. It had rotors, lights, a keyboard, plugboard cables, and a terrifying personality. It transformed simple messages like, "Send tanks at 6 a.m." into something like, German operator. Sir, I typed hello, but the machine says Q9Z3F. Is that normal? German Colonel. Yes, that means it's working. To the Germans, Enigma was, well, the Beyoncé of encryption. Impossible to touch, impossible to beat, impossible to question. What they didn't know is that it had more weaknesses than a one-legged giraffe on roller skates. Imagine a quiet British mansion in the countryside. Lush gardens, chirping birds, peaceful walking paths. Chaos. Absolute, beautiful chaos. Papers everywhere. Typewriters clacking like machine gun fire. Young women in naval uniforms lugging punch tapes across the halls. Mathematicians who haven't slept since 1939.
Has anyone seen my pencil? No! But this wasn't a madhouse. This was Bletchley Park, home of the Allied code-breaking geniuses. Meet the cast of intellectual Avengers. Alan Turing, shy, brilliant, the kind of guy who solves impossible math problems before breakfast, invents machines no one can pronounce, probably thinks in 12 dimensions. Mavis Batey, young, sharp-eyed, could decode a naval message faster than most people can open a bag of chips. Mavis, this message says the Italian fleet is moving east. Also, someone named Otto is cheating at cards. Dilly Cox, classic eccentric British intellectual. Looks like he hasn't slept in 7 centuries but is still brilliant. Dilly, I think the Germans made a mistake. Also, is this tea cold or am I cold? The Wens, the women operating the massive code-breaking machines. Fast, efficient, smarter than everyone in the room. When? The machine is jammed. We fixed it. The tea is ready. The war will now continue. Plus dozens of mathematicians, most of whom communicate only through size and chalkboards. Welcome to Bletchley Park. Please leave sanity at the door.
Let's take a deeper tour inside Bletchley Park, the place that looked like a cozy English estate on the outside and an overstressed beehive on the inside. Lovely, right? Now step indoors. We lost a rotor! Does anyone see a rotor? It's the one that looks like a very angry donut. All the rotors look like angry donuts. Alan Turing didn't just think outside the box. He bulldozed the box, replaced it with a new box, and then mathematically proved the original box was structurally unsound.
He biked to work wearing a gas mask for allergies, chained his teacup to the radiator so no one would steal it, and once fed a carrot to a stray deer he mistook for a horse. A horse is a horse, of course. Deer, blinks and deer. Dilly Knox, more chaotic, genius. Dilly Knox, meanwhile, looked like a professor who lived inside a library for 40 years.
He wrote ciphers on napkins. He forgot where he placed his lunch. He occasionally burned his tie by leaning too close to a lamp. But give him a German code and he'd destroy it faster than a toddler destroying a Lego tower. Mavis Batey, one of the youngest star codebreakers, had two superpowers. 1. Instantly understanding ciphers. 2. Detecting nonsense. Mavis holding a German intercept. This one says, supplies delayed. Blame Huns. Should I decode the rest? Ren. No need. Poor Hans. The Bletchley rituals expanded. Bletchley had its own unusual rituals developed through sheer exhaustion. Tea every 20 minutes, mandatory. Apologizing before opening any door, someone was always behind it. Naming the machines, Bertha, Gertie, and Cyril the fire hazard. Arguing about biscuits like they were international treaties. Writer 3. Stop eating all the shortbread, Roger. We are at war. Roger. You ate my scone yesterday.
Enter Hut 6, a room full of exhausted geniuses mapping German army messages on chalkboards the size of buses. Some had equations so long they wrapped around the room twice. Others had sticky notes reading, "If lost, return to Hut 6," pinned to their shirts. Hut 3, where brains melt into intelligence reports. Analysts transformed raw decrypts into understandable intelligence. Analyst. Convoy moving southeast. Straightforward. Ship captain angry. Noted. Someone stole the U-boat sausages again. Someone tell Churchill. Hut 8. Turing's kingdom. Full of rotors, wires, and machines humming like caffeinated dragons. Warren. Sir, the Bombe machine is overheating again. Turing. Add more fans. Warren. We already added 6 fans. Turing. Add another fan. The culture of extreme secrecy. Everything here was secret. Not kind of secret, not maybe don't tell your mom. It was, if you say anything, we will erase your existence from the timeline, levels of secret. Recruiting officer. Your job will be highly classified. Say nothing. Not to your friends, not to your spouse, not even to your dog. New recruit. My dog? Officer. Especially your dog. The cover stories. Codebreakers couldn't tell anyone what they did, so most told people, I work in clerical filing. I operate a telephone exchange. I do paperwork. Mother, I can't explain why I look permanently tired. Just trust me. Even decades later, some families had no idea their grandparents helped win WWII without firing a shot. The moment everyone realized Enigma was beatable.
One day, a young recruit accidentally noticed a repeated phrase in a German message. The exact same phrase appeared 3 days in a row. They're readable. They're patterned. Impossible. Germans do not repeat themselves. This one says, nothing to report. Wait, he said that yesterday too. And the day before. Yep, we're going to crack this machine. And just like that, hope flooded Bletchley Park like a broken teapot steaming its last. How the Allies actually cracked Enigma.
So, how do you break the world's most complicated cipher machine? Easy. You assemble the world's most complicated people. How to break Enigma, step 1, panic. But really, the story goes deeper, beginning with the most underrated heroes in the cryptographic universe, the Polish Codebreakers, the forgotten legends.
Before the war, 3 Polish mathematicians, Marian Jerzy, Jerzy Różycki, and Henryk Zagałowski, cracked the early versions of Enigma. Cracked it, solved it, disassembled it in their heads like it was IKEA furniture. Polish cryptologists assembling an Enigma diagram using pure math and blackboard wizardry. Polish cryptologist calm. Yes, we solved it. Is that impressive? My brother in Christ, it's impossible. When Hitler was preparing to invade Poland, these mathematicians handed their Enigma work to the British and French like it was a homework assignment they finished early. Polish codebreaker, we did the first 500 steps for you. Good luck with the rest. The British looked at the documents and immediately questioned whether humans could actually be this smart. Spoiler, they could. The captured German U-boat bonus round. Next came the naval equivalent of finding someone's diary under their bed. The Allies captured several German U-boats with code books inside because German sailors apparently said, "German captain, should we destroy the code books before abandoning the ship?" Second officer, what could possibly go wrong?
Everything. Everything went wrong. Thanks to these captured materials, the Allies unlocked daily key settings, plugboard configurations, and juicy gossip German officers typed into Enigma, thinking no one was watching. Enter the Bombe, Turing's cipher-breaking monster. Alan Turing and Gordon Welchman built the Bombe, a giant electromechanical computer that looked like a refrigerator possessed by electricity. The Bombe's job? To test millions, billions, trillions of possible Enigma settings until it found the correct one. The best part? It did it so fast that Germans would change their code every morning, and the Allies would crack it by lunch. Wren sipping tea smugly. Finished decoding. Is it tea time yet? What Germans think Allies are doing. German fantasy. Allies frantically guessing. British soldier. Try A. No, B. No, try Hitler 1, 2, 3. German officer. Fools. They'll never guess. Reality. At Bletchley Park. Mathematicians relaxing while a giant machine solves everything. Wren. The machine cracked it again. Put the kettle on. Mathematician. Yes, and add biscuits. The real secret? Patterns. Lots of patterns. Germans loved patterns so much they practically begged the Allies to crack Enigma. Here are actual recurring phrases German operators used. Nothing to report. Heil Hitler. Weather today is every single morning. Enemy not in sight, even when the enemy was absolutely in sight. German soldier on U-boat, enemy destroyer 20 feet away. German radio operator, should I type enemy in sight? Captain, 9. We never report enemies. It ruins the vibe. The greatest pattern of all, Heil Hitler. Since this phrase appeared constantly, the Allies used it as a cheat code, literally. They called these predictable words cribs, expected phrases that helped narrow the machine settings. Germany unintentionally gave the Allies the exact keys needed to solve their system. British codebreaker. Imagine if every enemy typed their password in front of us, because they basically did. The Allies kept a secret so big it could have broken the war. Now, here's where everything becomes legendary. The Allies weren't just reading German messages. They were reading almost all German messages, daily, hourly, sometimes instantly. They knew U-boat locations, Luftwaffe operations, army movements, secret battle plans, weather forecasts, supply shortages, and occasionally, German relationship drama. But here's the twist. They had to pretend they didn't know. Because the moment Germany suspected Enigma was compromised, the entire Allied intelligence advantage would vanish like cake at a children's party. So they created fake reconnaissance flights, fake reports, even fake delays, just to hide the fact that they were reading the enemy's diary in real time. British commander, we know the convoy is here, but we must pretend we discovered it dramatically. Pilot, shall I act shocked?
Yes, shocked and offended. How the bomb really worked. The bomb machine didn't just break codes. No. This thing worked like the caffeine-fueled brain of a stressed-out university student the night before finals. It took the guessed words, called cribs, and checked all possible Enigma settings to see which ones would make a German message match those words. But here's the thing. Enigma had over 150 million possible combinations each day. That's a number so big it's basically just nope. German officer, our code cannot be cracked. There are 150 million. Yes, Klaus, we know the number. You guys mentioned it every day. But the bomb said, numbers? Never heard of them. And just brute forced everything. What a day at Bletchley Park looked like. A typical day at Bletchley Park went something like this. 1. Intercept stations across Britain and Europe recorded German Morse code transmissions. 2. Runners and radio lines sent them to Bletchley Park. 3. Analysts tried to spot patterns. 4. Someone spilled tea. 5. Wens fed settings into the bomb. 6. The bomb spun its rotors so fast it sounded like a very emotional washing machine. 7. A bell would ring when it found a match. 8. Everyone would cheer. 9. Someone else spilled tea. 10. Analysts turned the raw decrypts into intelligence reports.
Sir, the machine dinged again. Did it ding or just ding? Because ding means probable match. Ding means the machine is hungry again. Just a ding. Then we decode. If it dings, we panic. The impact of Polish work. And let's talk about the Polish mathematicians again for a second, because these heroes didn't just hand the British notes. They handed them replica Enigma machines built by hand, their mathematical deduction method, rotor wiring patterns, guessword strategies, early Bombe-like concepts, and every piece of intel they'd gathered for years. It was like showing up to a group project with everything done except the last 20% that requires a giant, deafening, lightning-powered machine. British commander, you gentlemen have saved us years of work. Polish cryptologist, you're welcome. Now please don't let the world collapse.
Germans helping allies without knowing. And incredibly, hilariously, the Germans kept helping the Allies break Enigma just by being, well, predictable. They used the same greeting phrases, sent the same weather reports, signed off with the same phrases, repeated troop habits, filed the same formats daily. Imagine locking your house every day but leaving the key under the same flower pot. That's basically what the German military did. German radio operator. Shall I change the format of our messages? German captain. No, tradition is important. When the Allies could see everything.
By mid-war, Enigma was shattered. Not cracked once, cracked daily. Like Germany was sending the Allies a new episode of What Are We Doing Today? Every morning, Bletchley Park would receive fresh intercepts. Wren sorting papers. Panzer Division moving west. U-boat out of torpedoes. General Schmidt ordered extra sausages. Fascinating. Charles, mathematician, deadpan. Should we tell the Prime Minister about the sausages? Wren. Obviously.
Ultra, the code name for all Enigma intelligence, became the Allies' invisible superpower. It told Britain and America what Germany would do before Germany knew what Germany would do. German overconfidence level, maximum. Let's check in on the German side. German war room. Officers stand around the Enigma like it's a sacred relic. German general. Our Enigma is flawless, perfect. Nobody can break it. German captain. Sir, our convoys keep getting sunk. General. Coincidence. German captain. Our U-boats are getting ambushed. General. Bad luck. German captain. The British always know where we're going. General. Magic. How many times must I say this? Narrator. One day, a German naval officer actually suggested the Allies were using telepathy. Telepathy. Instead of suspecting the machine.
In 1942, the Germans added a fourth rotor to Enigma. They held a celebration, literally. This new rotor makes our code unbreakable. We are invincible. Cut to Bletchley Park. A wren casually holds a new message slip.
We cracked the new rotor settings. Who wants biscuits?
The Germans thought they built a brick wall. The Allies walked through it like it was made of cooked spaghetti. How Ultra shaped the war. With Enigma broken, the Allies rerouted convoys around U-boats, guided bombers toward real targets, monitored troop movements, exposed German supply issues, sabotaged operations without Germans realizing, and saved countless lives. Ultra shortened WWII by up to 2 years, but the most legendary moment was yet to come.
The build-up to D-Day, the most cinematic chapter. It is 1944. Hitler's armies occupy Europe. To free the continent, the Allies planned the largest invasion in human history, Operation Overlord, also known as D-Day. But here's the problem. If the Germans reinforced the beaches at the wrong moment, the invasion could fail. Tens of thousands could die. The war could drag on for years. Enter Ultra. Bletchley Park on high alert. Hallway lights flicker. Wrens rush around with papers. Machines hum loudly. Commander Travers. We need every Enigma message decrypted by dawn. Hitler cannot know where we land. Normandy must remain a secret. Wren. Sir, we intercepted 37 new German transmissions overnight. Travers. Decode them all. Even the one complaining about low coffee rations. Wren. Already decoded. They're furious. What the Enigma messages revealed. Germany believed the invasion would happen at Calais, the shortest route from England to France. Every Enigma message confirmed German reserves were stationed far from Normandy. Hitler expected a decoy. The Atlantic Wall was stronger at Calais.
This was gold. Sparkling diamond-encrusted gold. Because it meant the Allies could attack where Germany was weakest. Normandy. The deception masterpiece, Operation Fortitude. The Allies didn't just rely on Enigma. They weaponized German overconfidence. They created fake radio traffic, inflatable tanks, wooden aircraft, entire phantom divisions,
even a fake commander, General Patton, to lead the imaginary army. German radar operator. Radar tech. Sir, a huge fleet of tanks at Dover. General. Excellent. They shall attack Calais. Allied soldiers pumping air into inflatable tanks like balloons.
The night before D-Day. June 5th, 1944. Rain, wind. The invasion is postponed. Bletchley Park anxiously scans every Enigma intercept. Writer 17. Any sign the Germans are moving reinforcements? Mathematician. No, they still believe Calais is the real invasion site. Commander. Good. The deception is working.
D-Day morning, 6th June, 1944. On the morning of D-Day, thousands of Allied ships approach Normandy. Meanwhile, German commanders radio Hitler. German general. Mein Führer, enemy landing at Normandy. Hitler, half asleep. What? Normandy? Impossible. The real invasion is coming at Calais. Do not move the panzer divisions. Enigma intercepts confirmed this in real time. Hitler refused to send reinforcements for critical hours. Those hours changed the world.
The D-Day chaos behind the scenes. D-Day wasn't just soldiers storming beaches. Behind the scenes, Bletchley Park was basically a caffeinated beehive of panic. Bletchley's Hut 6. Machines clacking, papers flying, mathematicians running like they forgot the oven on. Commander Travers, where is the intercept from the 12th SS Panzer Division? We need to know if they're moving. Mathematician, it's coming, sir. The machine jammed because someone spilled tea on it again. Wren, glaring. I said I was sorry. Meanwhile, in Hut 3, analysts pore over decrypted reports, trying to map German responses. This German officer says he's convinced the invasion is at Calais. Also, he's upset his nephew stole his sausages. Travers, good. Both things will work in our favor. Night before invasion. On June 5th, weather forced a delay. But this delay turned Bletchley Park into an emotional roller coaster. Writer 12. If we postpone again, the troops will go crazy. Mathematician. I'm already going crazy, and I'm not even going to France. Every Enigma message becomes more crucial. Every word is scrutinized. Intercept from the German 15th Army. Still expecting invasion at Calais. Good sign. Travers, a great sign. If Hitler thinks we're going to Calais, we win tomorrow. But tension explodes when one intercepted message hints that a German unit may move closer to Normandy. Mathematician, panicking. What if they're moving? What if they found out? What if Enigma is suddenly secure again? Wren, calm. No, look, it says they're moving to get lunch. Mathematician, oh, thank God. Hitler sleeps through history. Here is a true and hilarious fact. Hitler actually slept in on D-Day, the biggest invasion of the war, the fate of Europe, the moment everyone had been fearing. Hitler was napping. Hitler's generals. General, wake the Führer. Normandy is under attack. Aide. He said not to disturb him before 10 a.m. General, this is literally the one time we should disturb him. This delay meant hours of paralysis. Why? Because the German High Command couldn't redeploy the armored divisions without Hitler's personal approval. So while the Allies fought on the beaches, Hitler enjoyed his sleep. Probably dreaming about sausages. Bletchley confirmation. As Allied troops began landing at Normandy, Bletchley Park intercepted frantic German messages. Wren, sir, the Germans are confused. They think Normandy is a diversion. Travers, fist pumping. Yes, let them believe it. Let them protect Calais like it's the world's most important beach picnic. The Wrens run back and forth printing updates.
Sir, message from the 7th Army. We require reinforcements. But the panzer divisions aren't moving. Travers, send word to Eisenhower. Hitler still believes the main attack is coming at Calais. This intel was priceless. It meant fewer German defenses at Normandy. It meant the Allies could establish a beachhead. It meant thousands of lives saved. But the most incredible thing? The Germans still didn't suspect Enigma was compromised.
The fog of war. Throughout the day, Enigma messages flowed non-stop. Panicked, chaotic, contradictory. German radio operator. The British are landing at Normandy. No. Wait. Maybe they're ghosts. No. It's definitely landing craft. No. It's birds. I need glasses. Meanwhile, every Bletchley Park hut is lit like a Christmas tree. Mathematician. Are the 12th SS Panzer moving yet? Wren, reading printout. Their commander says they're not allowed to move. He's waiting for approval. Mathematician. From whom? When? Hitler. Who is still asleep? German fatal errors. Even after Hitler woke up, German responses remained painfully slow. Enigma messages show conflicting orders, panicked officers, failed communications, units waiting hours for confirmation, a complete refusal to accept the attack was real.
No, Normandy is a trick. The real invasion is Calais. Do not move.
But they're literally storming the beaches right now.
Calais.
But
Calais.
expanded scene. The Allies break through. By the time German leadership finally accepted the truth, it was too late. The Allies had secured the beaches, brought in reinforcements, established supply lines, pushed inland, connected the beachheads. With ultra-intelligence guiding them, the Allies outmaneuvered Germany at every turn. And still, Germany believed Enigma was perfectly safe. My friends, ignorance was their greatest enemy.
The war begins to turn. After D-Day, the entire momentum of the war changed. The Allies finally had a foothold in France. The Germans were scrambling, confused, arguing, and still refusing to question Enigma. German headquarters, German colonel. Why are they always one step ahead? Why do they know where our troops are? Why do they know what I had for breakfast? German radio tech, shrugging. Sir, maybe they're psychic? General, psychic? Yes, that must be it. Not once did they suspect the tiny box they worshipped was singing their secrets to the Allies every day. The final stages. As the Allies pushed deeper into Europe, Enigma intel became even more vital. Bletchley Park was running day and night, tired codebreakers drinking tea like it's oxygen. Wren, did you sleep? Mathematician, I blinked slowly for 20 minutes. Does that count? They intercepted messages about retreating German divisions, dwindling fuel, disrupted supply lines, panicked officers, Berlin demanding miracles that didn't exist. It was like listening to a band fall apart while still performing on stage.
The Germans still don't know. Here's the most incredible part. Even as the Allies marched into Germany, even as the war was collapsing, even as thousands of soldiers surrendered, Germany still thought Enigma was uncrackable. German soldier surrendering. Please be kind. I have valuable information. Our codes are unbreakable. British sergeant. Sure, mate, whatever you say. Soldier. No, really, the Enigma machine. Yup, totally. Now up on the truck, genius. The Allies were so committed to secrecy that they never boasted about it. Not during the war, not after the war, Not for decades. They didn't want other countries learning their methods. The war ends. In May 1945, the war in Europe ended. Germany surrendered. Hitler was gone. The fighting ceased. Bletchley Park closed its doors. And the Codebreakers, they quietly packed up their things and went back to normal jobs. Teachers, librarians, engineers, post office clerks, accountants, carrying a secret so enormous that even their families never knew.
The greatest secret of WWII. These men and women saved millions of lives and told no one. They ended the war sooner and told no one. They changed the future of computing and still told no one. It wasn't until the 1970s, 30 years later, that the truth finally became public. Imagine being a German veteran reading the headline, "Allies cracked Enigma during WWII." Veteran spits coffee everywhere. They what? All this time? Even the Schnitzel message? Yes, Gerhard, even the Schnitzel message. Think about it. Germany changed Enigma settings daily, added new rotors, introduced new plugboard combinations, strengthened procedures, tightened discipline, and none of it mattered. Because Bletchley Park was decoding messages like, "U-boat out of potatoes." General Schmidt requests leave to fix his marriage. Weather today, depressing. The Allies probably knew more about German moods than German therapists did.
The legacy. Today, Enigma sits quietly in museums, just a box, just a machine, silent, beaten. A relic of a time when human genius triumphed over arrogance. Bletchley Park is now a memorial, a tribute to the brilliant souls who broke the unbreakable. Alan Turing paved the path to modern computers. The Wrens pioneered early tech operations. Countless unsung heroes stood behind the scenes, doing work that changed the world, all without firing a single bullet. And so, as D-Day succeeded and Europe began to shift, the fate of the war changed forever, all thanks to a machine that wasn't as smart as its makers believed, a team of geniuses who refused to quit, and a secret Germany never guessed. But this story isn't over. Not even close. Because what happened after the war is somehow even more unbelievable.
This is the story of how the Allies cracked Enigma, not with brute force, but with intellect, persistence, and teamwork. A reminder that sometimes the most powerful weapon is the human mind. And the funniest part? The Germans never knew. The legacy they never spoke of. When we talk about war, we often speak about the battles, the men storming beaches, the tanks roaring across fields, the aircraft streaking above the clouds. But there is another kind of battlefield, one without smoke, one without gunfire, one where victories are silent and the heroes unnamed. Bletchley Park was that battlefield. When the war ended, the Codebreakers didn't celebrate with parades. There were no medals, no interviews, no recognition waiting for them at home. They simply walked away. Because everything they did, every message cracked, every convoy saved, every life protected, was bound by secrecy so strict that even decades later, many of them took the truth to their graves. an elderly former codebreaker in the 1970s reading a newspaper announcing Enigma had been cracked during the war.
I remember those nights. We never thought anyone would know what we did. Some families didn't learn until the 1990s that their quiet grandmother, who baked cookies and knitted sweaters, once helped crack the most complex cipher machine in history. Some learned that their mild-mannered grandfather, who never raised his voice, once contributed to saving millions of lives with nothing but logic, grit, and sheer will. And maybe that's the most powerful part of this story. These heroes didn't work for fame. They didn't work for applause. They didn't work to be remembered. They worked because it had to be done. Because someone had to stand against the darkness, not with weapons, but with intellect. They proved that in humanity's darkest moments, brilliance can shine brighter than bombs. They proved that courage is not only found on the front lines, but also in quiet rooms filled with wires, pencils, and exhausted minds refusing to give up.
And they proved something timeless. You don't need a battlefield to change the world. You just need purpose and the determination to do what others think is impossible. If you enjoyed this animated WWII story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Tell us, should we cover The Spy Who Fooled Hitler for 3 years? Or how pigeons outsmarted the Nazi war machine? See you in the next mission. Stay curious, stay brave, and remember, no code is unbreakable if the right people are trying to break it.